Hi everyone, my name is Phil and welcome to Phil Does 3D. I'm a multimedia and 3D artist and I stream live on Twitch on Mondays and Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Pacific time in the United States. That's 10 a.m. if you're in Australia, or 1 or 2 a.m. if you're in the UK or Europe. I hope you guys and girls are well and you had a good weekend. Help to you as well, Smurf. Hey, Android Lost, it's good to see you, buddy. I hope you had a good weekend too. Remember guys, if you do miss the live streams, you can catch up at any time by clicking the videos tab on my Twitch channel or going to my YouTube channel, which is /PhilDoes3D. Remember too, if you want to join the Phil Does 3D Discord server, you can go to the About Me section on my Twitch channel and you'll find a blue graphic that says join the Discord. Click that, you'll get an invite link. If you're watching back on YouTube, look in the description below this video and you'll see a link to my Twitch channel. Then go to the About Me section and then you can click the blue graphic to join the Discord server. Okay, we're going to continue working on the house in the hollow. We're setting up the Art Nouveau entryway and driveway. That's where we're up to and that's what we're going to be doing. I'm just going to grab a drink. Nice and cold. Alrighty. So I guess we should jump straight into it, shouldn't we? Why not? So yeah, last week we were setting up the entryway. So we're going to continue doing that. So we do have the hall section behind here, which we have to set up, but we'll leave that until after we've done the driveway here. That's the plan. I'm going to leave these plants in here as well until after we've set everything up, and then we can go through and remove them, these small tree things. Alright, so we have that set up. I actually scripted the gates so they're all set up and ready to go. They open and close and all that jazz. Smurf says that seems out of place. What, the entryway or this bit behind it? This bit behind it's just testing. We've been testing stuff. Because you guys know this section here is going to be for unloading that landscape and loading up the one that's beyond there. So we needed to test loading and unloading out. That's what that's all about. Or if you mean this seems out of place, why? What do you mean? What you talking about? Man, it took me forever this morning to get the transcoding to kick in on Twitch. I don't know what was going on. So yes, just as a reminder, if you watch the channel or you sort of like watching my Twitch channel as I go live, and if it goes live and doesn't and goes live and doesn't, that's me starting and stopping the stream to get transcoding to kick in. You know, 2022 Twitch, come on, give transcoding to everyone all the time. It's ridiculous. We always generally do have it, but on occasions, like this morning, it can take a long time to kick in. So, what are you talking about seems out of place, Mercury? What? Maybe because it's just on its own at the moment. So let's fix that. Let's go to the entry hall, and I think we'll start with... oh no, we don't want the entry hall, we want... Because we're not doing the hall, we're doing that last. We want the driveway. Where did I put the driveway? No, it's not with the vintage car. I know it's in here. I just got to find it. It's not the entry, it's not the hall. Car gates, that's the one. Smurfberry says all of it seems out of place. Thank you very much, Smurfberry Barbecue. You're going to get a slap in a minute. In fact, I'll give you one right now. Bad, Smurfberry. Bad. Okay. I guess we should start with the actual drive itself, I suppose, and we can work around that. Actually, what we might do is I might just open up Mac so I can refresh my memory, because it was a while ago we created it, as to exactly how this is meant to look. Because Phil forgets. Cargate drive. Look, I've got so many folders with this file in it. I guess it was this one. No, I don't think it was this one. Not the car. So maybe it was. Maybe it was this one. No, it wasn't that one. Was it this one? Didn't think it was this one, but we'll have a look. Hey, Hellforge, it's good to see you. Android Lust says, hold up, did you rebuild the lights? Oh, sorry, I did, yeah. I normally, when I show you guys the Unreal Engine, I go into unlit mode. But no, yes, we're using Lumen in Unreal Engine 5 now, so the lighting doesn't need to be rebuilt anymore, because Lumen is real-time global illumination and ray tracing. So, yep, that's one of the main advantages of using Lumen. Also file management. What do you mean, Hellforge? Are you talking about me not being able to find my Max file, or are you talking about Unreal Engine 5? Yes, so yes, Android Lust, we did. We're using Unreal Engine 5 and we're using Lumen, which is real-time global illumination. So no longer need to do lighting rebuilds. And we're using GPU light mass now to do the lighting rebuilds if we ever need to do them, because it's much faster. Android Lust says, I was thinking something looks a lot better. Yes, no, we did rebuild the lighting. And I'll just go back to where we were working last week, which was the this bit here. So yeah, we rebuilt the lighting. This is what the lighting looks like in the game now. So there you go. We did release screenshots as well. So if you guys do want to see what the game actually looks like, you can either go to the House in the Hollows Facebook page, or you can go to the website for the game itself, and you'll find some new screenshots here. These all now are showing ray tracing and global illumination, Lumen. But if you go to the latest news part, you can also find new screenshots here. In fact, because they've been posted publicly, I will show you what the new screenshots look like on stream, because why not? I'm allowed to. They won't yell at me at the game studio because we have released them publicly. This is the one I want. So we'll just go through them one by one. Let me pull this over onto my main screen. So yeah, now we are using global illumination and nanite. So these screenshots were released about a year or a year and a half ago, but these are new versions with ray tracing enabled. Helpwood says Steam. Oh yes, Steam. If you go to Steam, you can actually see the new screenshots, because we posted a news item to the Steam store page. So, and if you want to click that link, Hellforge popped into Twitch chat, that will take you to the Steam store page. Posted on Steam as well. It is on Steam. It is actually on Steam. So you can go to Steam and look at them. There's a news item you can click on that will show you the new screenshots. Yeah, again, these are the Manor House, which you guys have seen me working on. These are the new ones for the forest section, though. These are some sections I don't think you guys have seen before. This one actually was not posted publicly, so No one has seen this one. There's like a lookout that you can go to. And that's what this is here. But these ones you guys have seen. The bridge. That's the caretaker's cottage ruin. That's the ruined church interior. And that's the caretaker's cottage again. And again, I don't know, you might have briefly seen this when I went to the wrong bookmark, but yeah. So there you go. Use screenshots using Lumen. And this is not the file that I want. So it must be this one. So yes, if you go to Steam, you can actually while it's loading up, I can get rid of that horse riding game now. Still no Sniper Girl. I hope she's okay. Easiest way for me to find Steam is to go there. So yeah, if you go to Steam, you can see this news event, recent news events. And if you click on that, then you can also check the screenshots out that way yourselves. Including the game intro video. That's the part we want. Beautiful Android Lust says, thank you Android Lust. Well, again, I've been using, everyone's been involved. We've all been making suggestions as to what we should be adding and doing, so we can all take credit for it. Okay, so we have I'll start with the drive. I think it'll probably be the easiest. So let's just get into a position where we can see what we're doing. And let's find the driveway, which will be this one here. Make sure we're in the right landscape. Now we are going to have to probably scale these a little bit, because I don't think they're scaled quite right. Which is a bit annoying, but anyway, so if we work to this scale, which looks like 3.2, let's see how that goes. That looks about correct to me. So we want to pull that forward, bring it down. No, I said bring it down. There we go. No, I said bring it down. I'm working my last nerve on around. We want that to go just before the edge of the entry. So maybe around about there. We might just bring it up, bring it down, bring it up. I may have to adjust the path, I think. We'll see how we go. I'm just checking the bitumen here looks correct. Or, the path, the drive itself. We're going to have to move some trees, obviously. And size-wise, I think that is about correct. Yeah, we'll have a car here. So you're working this way with Lumen and real-time global illumination and ray tracing. It's actually really cool. You don't have to rebuild the lighting. Everything you add, you can see what it's going to look like as you add it. It makes life much easier. Okay, so we have the drive. The next will be the outside edge, I believe. Yeah, this thing here. So let's bring that in, which will be this one here. And again, all of these pieces are designed in a modular way. And again, with Lumen, Epic suggests that you do it this way. It's better for the for Lumen itself because it works on mesh distance fields, I believe. So you don't want to sort of like bring in an object that's all one mesh. You want to break it up as much as possible. It just renders better for Lumen. Looks like I might need to rotate it. And select it and rotate it. And that looks like I need to move it, I think. Bring it forward. So we want it sort of just touching the walkway just here. I just need to make sure that this is positioned correctly. I might bring it down a little bit. Okay, looks like I have to rotate it again. I think this is going to be interesting. I think we need to pull it forward. And why are you off like that? So we're lined up here. We're not quite lined up here though. Why is that? We should be. Andrew Doss says, it looks good for the viewers too. Oh, yeah, you're talking about the real-time global illumination thing, yeah. Certainly does help. Instead of looking at it sort of like that, which ain't quite so pretty. I'm just going to get this outer edge lined up correctly. I think it's because the this is not completely straight. I had to angle it because of the next landscape. So we may need to, I don't know. Well, it doesn't really matter because we have broken sections of this round circle in parts anyway, like here, where some of the stones are actually missing. So that's not an issue, really. What I might do is I might just lift all of this up a bit so that it's not intersecting the ground so much. I actually don't mind it intersecting the ground a bit. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I prefer it actually intersecting the ground. It makes it look like the leaves and the dirt have built up over the top of it, which looks interesting. We will have to move the drive back though, the path rather back. It's moving too far into the actual driveway, but we'll do that once we've set up the rest of the fence sections, I think. I think we might have to move the actual entryway down as well. Again, we'll look at that once we've set this up. And Andrew Duff says, yeah. Okay. So let's add the central fountain thing. I guess we're going to start with this. Just making sure it's around about the middle. Again, let me refer to my original. Okay, so I actually did bring it up above. Okay. I wasn't sure whether I hid that square underneath or not, but no, we have it above, so makes it a bit easier for me to position it anyway, right in the middle. That's probably why I did it. Nah, think ahead, you see. Yeah, just getting this lined up right in the center of the circle makes it easier if I can see the edges here. So make sure it's down as far as it can be, and it is. Smokeberry says, yes, I definitely did that on purpose. It was all planned all along, that's right. It wasn't just a fluke, lucky fluke. I planned it all along. Okay, next it will be the actual decorative bit here. The fountain or whatever we're calling this thing. It's not really a fountain, I don't know, it's a sculpture, I guess. Which will be this thing here. See all that work we put in? Now we can just breeze through it all and place it. It was actually a while ago we worked on this, wasn't it? These assets, I mean, in Max. Okay. What's next? I guess the leaves are next. Oh, actually, we need to add the ivy as well. So I guess we'll do the ivy. What's this ivy called? Dry fountain deco ivy. Dry fountain base. Dry fountain deco ivy. This one. Gotta wait for the shaders to compile. Let me go back into Max and check this. So it's actually in the middle. Yeah. Back to Max. So we're coming down. So height-wise it's okay. I might just go into unlit mode quickly so I can see a little bit better what's going on. Okay, so it looks like we have the stem of the ivy there, so I think it has to go on further back. Is that right? Okay, let me check. No, the stem is actually on the edge there. Okay. So we need to bring it down. And the stem is sort of just to the side of one of these ladies. So sort of, yeah, just about the middle to the side of one of these ladies. Hang on, so what does that mean? That means, I think it means it's got to come over. I think. Which way do I want it to face is the next question. It was designed to go to face away from the drive, from the main entry of the driveway, which is here. So if the main entry is here, that's correct. It's designed to go to face away from it. Okay, let's go back into lit mode. Yes, I know you don't like unlit. I only have to go into unlit just so I can get some of these fiddly things positioned, like this ivy. We'll try and stay in lit mode as much as we can. So what else we got? Then we have some ivy down on the bottom. So we got one that runs around the ring. Actually, it's all one piece. Okay, makes it much easier. And this one's called base ivy. So base ivy, this one. We reuse the same material obviously for all the ivy. Even though with Unreal Engine 5 now draw calls are supposed to be not an issue, this was designed before we transferred the project over. So for optimization, even though you can in Unreal, like I've said, just because you can doesn't mean you should. And that is away from the drive entry on the right hand side. So this is the drive entry, it'll be on the right hand side. Move it back, move it up, no, yes, maybe, over. I'm assuming that would be probably touching the ground. That bit over, that bit. Toward the edge. That is correct. We can't see it exactly because a lot of the leaves here are covering up the ivy growing on the base. And again, I don't mind the leaves in here, you know, even though it is covering up some of our ivy that's sort of hidden underneath of it here. We might lift it up as much as we possibly can. Looks like it needs to come back just a little bit. That ivy sort of floating here. I do like the virtual shadow maps as well. I pointed this out last week. It's you can see all the individual leaves, which is really cool. Probably see it here on the ground as well a bit more easily. So all of the leaves being cast by the trees, you get these really nice detailed shadow maps with this new feature called virtual shadow maps, I think it's called, in the Unreal Engine 5. Yeah, the twigs, the leaves, it's very cool. Very, very cool. Because normally you just get a blurred mess in a computer game, because shadows are really quite expensive to render for an engine. Like, as performance-wise, it can be really performance intensive. But with this new virtual shadow maps that they've introduced with Unreal Engine 5, it doesn't really affect, well, maybe because I know I'm running on a pretty fast graphics card, but it doesn't seem to affect performance at all, and you get really nice shadows, which I really like. Snow says, I wonder if an emissive texture behind another mesh like a window actually works now. An emissive texture behind another mesh like a window. wasn't it working? Did I ever run into that problem? An emissive mesh behind a window. I know we ran into a problem where we had transparent windows on the manor house, and when you got down to a certain angle and looked at it through the volumetric fog, there was a Z fighting thing where the window looked like it was rendering in front of the fog. I think they fixed that. Actually, in Unreal Engine 5, I think you can actually alter the sort order now, so that sort of issue wouldn't be a problem. But the emissive thing, I don't know if I've run into that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I've actually tried to put an emissive behind like a window or another mesh. Smurf says in UE4 the light from an emissive texture gets blocked by other meshes even if they have transparency. I don't know. I know Lumen has problems with... There's actually quite a few restrictions on the meshes with Lumen, to use Lumen. And sorry, it's more to do with nanite, I guess. Yeah, nanite meshes, you can't have translucency on anything. So, you know, the car wreck, the rusty old car wreck that we have by the caretaker's cottage? The body of the car is nanite, but the windscreens, because they're transparent, can't be nanite. So they're separate meshes that are just a normal mesh, not a nanite mesh. Because nanite, you can't have a material that's transparent with nanite. They can only be opaque. I'm sure Epic hopefully will fix that in the future versions, but at the moment that's the way it is. So, bit of a bummer. You can work around it by separating up the mesh like I did, but yeah, bit of a bummer. But yeah, the light from an emissive, I don't know. I know that Lumen, because with Lumen, when you put an emissive on a texture, it acts actually like a light now. So it will throw lighting into the scene. And I know that it includes another opaque mesh, but I don't know about a translucent or a transparent one. I'm not sure about that. Smurf says, because emissive textures don't generate real light in Unreal Engine 4. They do in Unreal Engine 5 though. They do actually cast actual light. That's all Lumen. So an emissive in Unreal Engine 5 does cast light, unlike Unreal Engine 4 where it was like a fake effect. This actually emissives will cast light with using Lumen. So maybe it would work now in UE5. I'm not sure. I'm not really making use of emissives. I know a lot of people, and this has been a problem, a lot of people have been complaining about in the forum, and Epic have said to them, you shouldn't be doing it that way. A lot of people are trying to use emissive textures to replace actual lights, and that's not the way Lumen was designed to work. You still need actual lights. You can't add an emissive to, you know, I don't know, to a skylight, say, and even though it will throw actual light, it won't look very good. You still need to add a light source. So it's a combination of both. But yeah, I don't know. I do know emissives do cast actual light though. So. But I'm more interested in, like I said, the shadowing. I think the shadowing is really cool. I love the detailed shadowing you get now. I think that's very, very cool. And nanites, I haven't had a lot of time to play a lot with nanite. We were mainly looking at, when we transferred the project over, making sure everything was working correctly. Because there were a few things that we needed to fix in code to get things to work correctly. It's all working correctly now. And there's still that bug with the media player, media textures, media videos, but yeah. Andrew Lust says, like using an emissive on a light bulb to light a room. Well, you can with Lumen, but they don't suggest you do it like that. You're still supposed to use actual lights. Don't rely on emissives to light your scenes, even though you will get lighting from an emissive texture in Unreal Engine 5 using Lumen. You're not meant to do it that way, and you'll run into shadowing problems anyway. So even though it will throw light and it will light your scene, an emissive texture, you still need to add actual lights if it's meant to be a light source. don't just rely on emissive. Emissive sort of help to lift the scene a bit. They're not meant to be a replacement for lights. Even though they throw light, they're not meant to be a replacement for lights. So I still add lights. And my suggestion with if you're using Unreal Engine 5 and you're using Lumen, you probably want to stick to using movable lights now as opposed to static or stationary. Yeah, because Lumen works best with movable, not static and stationary. I believe you still can use static and stationary, and we still do inside the building for some things, inside the main manor house. With movable lights, so you don't need to do a rebuild on lighting all the time, and that's one of the major advantages of Lumen. You don't need to rebuild your lighting anymore, and you can see exactly what it looks like as you place your message, as you can see here. So you really want to try and stick to using movables. Now, that's not always an option if you're making like a mobile game, because mobiles aren't as powerful as PCs, so movable lights are the most expensive for the engine to actually handle and render still. That hasn't changed. So yeah, there are still places and uses for static and stationary, but you probably want to try and use movable as much as possible. Just makes your life much easier. So what's next? I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to move some of these trees out of the driveway, because we don't want trees growing through the driveway like that. Not the big trees anyway. So let's go into foliage mode. And let's just move some of these back out from the driveway. We're probably going to have to move them again because we have a fence line that goes around here, so. No problem, Smurf. Yeah, I hope Sniper Girl's alright. I haven't heard from her. She hasn't been in the stream she wasn't in last week. I mean, maybe she's just busy, which is cool, fine. I know she's around because she posted a tutorial, an article in the tutorial section on the Discord. I guess she just doesn't love me anymore. I just want to make sure she's okay. Let's move that one out. And let's move, I guess, all of these three out. Do we have any other big trees? This one here has to come over. This one can stay because it's sort of like in that gap between the drive. And we'll look at the other smaller trees once we get a bit more in the engine. Alright. I guess we'll move to the... We have like this bitumen piece at the front of the driveway. Let's bring that in. So that will be this piece here. And let's wait for the shaders. Bring it up. Forward. I might just make an adjustment to this pathway, I think. And let's see, I've got to go into landscape mode. It's been a while. Manage, is it manage? Is it paint? Is it sculpt? Where is it? I haven't actually used it since I've started using Unreal Engine 5. I haven't played with the landscape section, so I've got to find it. Where did they move things to? Not sculpt. It's not paint. Splines, I believe. Yeah. So I'm just going to move the pathway down. So it sort of goes underneath of the drive. I'll just go back into select mode. We'll pull this down. So we sort of get it intersecting with the path. And I guess what I'll actually, we've got to move that tree as well. It's in the way. I think what I might do here is go back into landscape, sculpt, tool strength, brush size. I'm just going to paint these leaves out. Well, what I'm actually doing is pushing the landscape down.
I wanna go to a place where I can feel the rain again. I wanna reach the mountain where I can soar across the sky. And so my feet start to tremble, they lift off the ground. I leave it all behind, and I can see the horizon, it's calling my name. I leave it all behind. I'll rise above, above all that I hold dear. I'll never fall, I'll always soar across the sky.
Go back into select mode and move this down a little bit.
I wanna fly through the night and feel what I used to be. I wanna run away.
Let's go back into landscape mode.
Across the sky, and so my feet start to tremble, they lift off the ground. I leave it all behind.
And Where are we? Manage, spline. I might just move this down just a little bit. So we get a bit of blend between the path and the bitumen section. I think we need to paint out a little bit more of the landscape.
And I will never fall. I will never fall.
The setting could hardly be more perfect. New eyes, new vision for the world. An unparalleled blending of science and art.
Often it is difficult for a person to control a complicated sound synthesizer quickly enough. A computer can take over much of this control work and do it more quickly and accurately than a human being.
And all this has been just the beginning.
I think we need to bring the bitumen up. Actually, I think it needs to go back.
Walking through this wasteland, my eyes are fixed on the horizon, holding on to what I
Maybe not.
am, all alone out in this world. Through the darkness I descend, my eyes are fixed on the horizon, pushing onwards to the end.
I think what has to happen is we need to bring all of this up. So that, and that. You don't want cracked asphalt.
As I travel through the mountains, walking through this wasteland, my eyes are fixed on the horizon.
Wow. Stop it, Unreal. Stop it, stop it, stop it.
All alone out in this world, through the darkness I descend. My eyes are fixed on the horizon, pushing onwards to the end.
And I think that means I need to I think a problem we have is the ground is not completely flat underneath of this. So we have our bitumen mixed with our leaves, mixed with our path. I think if we start there, we can work our way back to get things looking right. So yeah, at the moment we have our little driveway looking like it's floating. So I'm going to do a quick save before I make too many big changes. Let's just do a save selected. I always like to do that just to be on the safe side. I can have it copied while it's doing it. We're going to go into the landscape, and again we're going to go into the sculpt tool, and I'm going to just bring up the landscape around the edge of the drive. I might just increase my brush size a bit too. But that was too much. Oh, although I don't mind having the leaves overhanging a bit. Yeah, that's fine. We won't do the entryway just yet. We'll concentrate on the drive. Alright. I might just reduce the strength to 0.1, increase the brush to say 400. I'm just going to pull up the landscape underneath here a little bit. Not quite that much. This is just so we can get some of these sticks sort of showing on the landscape a little bit more. That's too much. Let's reduce the strength to 0.05 because I'm a bit heavy-handed. Still too much. You're back? Cool.
Can you show me a I don't know anymore.
Okay, let's try 0.02. And let's no. Yes, no. increase our brush ball up a bit. Too much. Too much. I guess that's enough sticks. We don't need the driveway to be covered in little sticks. Just a few here and there is fine. That's our path. Okay. I might move that tree. We'll look at that in a minute. Alright, let's just change this back so I don't get confused. 0.3, 100, and a fall off of 0.9 will do. Okay, so we don't have a floating driveway, which is good. That's our main entryway here. I thought that was what was going on. Looks like I'm just trying to get myself lined up here. Looks like, do I need to move that over and then rotate it? Over and rotate, maybe. So, on base, that. We don't want the cracked asphalt. So, what do I want to do here? I want to move it over and then rotate it around. I think that's right. So move it over. And then rotate it. Around. Where are we? Yeah, that's right. I wanted, basically this needs to be centered to the nouveau entryway in the background there. It was just off center a little bit, which just looked a little odd. It really should be like, as you come along the path here, it should be centered in the middle of that. So it should be basically hiding the doors there in the background. And that works out better too, because I think that means it fixes our thing where the end bits of the border, like here, weren't sort of lined up correctly, and I think they are now. Yep. Good. I might just change the material on this asphalt, this bitumen. We call it bitumen in Australia. I think you guys in the US call it asphalt. I think it's just a little dark. Smurf says my ice cream turned into soup. Oh, ow. You've got a tree selected. Yeah, I know I have. Let's fix that then, because actually I want to move one of these trees as well, I think. Which tree was it? Wasn't there a tree here that needed to be moved? We'll come back to that one. I thought there was a tree in the way. Maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, let's deselect the tree. Wait, let me deselect the tree. Why? Anyway, can't deselect it. We'll select the one over there so you don't notice it so much. How about that? There we go. Deselect it now. Okay, so yeah, I might just change the bitumen here. I just have a feeling it might be a little bit too dark. I don't know, what do you guys think? You think the bitumen here is looking a bit black? Just going to move that back so it follows the edge a little bit better. Yeah, I'm not sure either. Oh, well, look, we can get into a position here where we can see it. I'm just comparing that bitumen to this drive, and you see how much lighter the driveway is, color-wise, as opposed to the bitumen. Smurf says, well, if you'd hold the camera, okay, fine, I won't move the camera. So yeah, we have the bitumen here, and then we have the drive, which is much lighter. Let's have a look at the material for the bitumen. So basically, I think what's happening, again, lumen, you've got to make sure that your mid-grey levels are correct for your materials if you're using lumen, otherwise it can really show up as being a bit of a problem. So I'm going to add a constant. I'm going to add an add, I think. Now let's try 1. It's either an add or a multiply. I always get confused as to which one I want to use. Let's try 0.2, 0.1. I'm just going to get into a position where we can see the bitumen in the background here. I'm going to apply this change to the material. No, that's not what we want. Let's try 0.01. Okay, so we've lightened it up just a little bit. Let's try 0.02. Better. I think it was just too dark before. I don't know that we need to lighten it up anymore. Maybe we should just tidy this up a little bit so it's not quite so messy. I think that's better. No, not quite as dark. You can see it a little bit better. And it better blends with the driveway. Android Lost says sometimes pavement is that dark, at least here and in this day. Yeah, I know you can get really dark pavement. Nerve says maybe a smidge lighter so they're closer to the other, but it's not too bad. I think that's a little bit better. We've lightened it up just a little bit. I mean, it's still a bit darker than here, but it's a better blend between the two now. It's not quite so stark, quite so dark. Yeah, because you see in the original here, it was a closer match to the driveway. So, yeah, I think we only lightened it up just a tiny bit. Just so we get a better blend between the two driveway sections. Alrighty, so what next? Well, I guess we should do a quick save all because you never know. Last thing we want is for the engine to crash. Although, you know, I have not had the engine, have I? Oh, you know, the engine did crash, but that was an NVIDIA driver problem more than anything. Generally, Unreal's been pretty stable. Unreal 4 was pretty stable. Unreal 5's been pretty stable once we made those changes to the source code. There was a problem with the NVIDIA drivers. I mentioned it before. If you're using a 3000 series graphics card and you're running Windows 11 particularly, you can have some issues with the engine, with the drive. It's actually the driver crashes. It's the NVIDIA driver, and that's with the latest Studio NVIDIA drivers. So NVIDIA need to fix it. Hopefully they'll do that soon. Android Dust says, but it could be dark because it's stained by years of dirt buildup. Yeah, it could be. But don't you think that's a better match now? It's just a little bit lighter. It's not quite so black. It's a better blend between this one and this one. You can see it a little bit better. That's my point. That's what I'm trying to say in my long roundabout way. It's better. Yeah, I think so. I think it's better. I've actually had to do that to a couple of textures in the engine that have come through a little dark with Lumen. Okay, so we have the drive, we have the fountain. I guess actually I need to make some changes because we moved the driveway and now we have some of this issue happening where things are clipping through the ground. So I'm going to have to go back into the landscape tool, back into the sculpt tool, and we're going to have to paint them out. These I don't mind, but we've got a few little leaves popping through here and there. This I don't like though. Yeah, no, I want to get rid of that. If I want leaves there, I'll paint them in by hand, which is probably what I'm going to end up doing in 2 seconds anyway. That little leaf pile is fine. And those leaves are fine. Okay, we actually do have leaves, I believe, that I actually created. Now, I don't really, because the landscape has leaves as it is, we can go one of two ways. I can either bring the leaves in that we created for the path, which are already in the engine, or we can use the landscape tool and we can paint leaves in that way. Oh, yeah, we can use the foliage tool rather. And I think we might go with the foliage tool just because it'll be a better match to what's already around. Even though leaves are leaves, and the leaves that I made are pretty much the same colour anyway, so they'd work. I just don't know that we need to really bring them in if we can just paint them in. They are in here, I think. Yeah, driveway leaves. I guess we could bring them in and have a look at them and see if we like them or not, and if we don't have to use them. Let's do that. So, leaves. Change the scale. Bring them up. These actually have bits of bark, I think, with them as well. Let's position them. You refer back to max, so we have a pile that are just on the drive there, which are this one here. Let me just make sure they're sitting on the driveway correctly. I might reduce my camera speed for you guys. I know it can be very distracting. I up it because I have to zip all around this huge 2 kilometre by 2 kilometre landscape. But I know it can be distracting, so I'm just going to pull it back so it's a little bit slower for you guys. I'm actually thinking I don't really like the look of them. The colour is a little bit off, it's too yellow. We could change that by altering the texture map, but I just don't know that I like even the look of them on the path. I think it might be better for me to paint them in with the foliage tool to better match the leaves here. I don't know, what do you guys think? We'll get into a position where we can sort of see them a little bit better. I mean, I like the fact there's bark mixed with it, but yeah, I'm not really sold on these leaves. I think we might be better painting them in with the foliage tool. I think. We're going to have leaves on the car anyway, so we don't really need these ones here. Yeah, I don't, like I said, we could change the colour so that they blend with the other leaves, but I don't know. I just don't know if they're really adding anything particularly to the scene anyway. So yeah, no, it's one of those, Maybe if it was blended a bit, it would change my mind. Yeah, alright, let's have a look at changing the texture map for these. I've just got to find what it is. It's driveway leaves baked, and I've put it in the car gates driveway leaves, textures, driveway leaves baked. Let's jump into Photoshop real quick. I don't actually have Photoshop open. And let's open up that leaf texture. Where did I put it? Texture. Driveway leaf. Bang. Is that the one there? I think it's this one. I'll just double check. The color looks different, that's why I'm just not sure. Driveway leaves baked. This is the one. You notice how much darker it looks in the texture than it does actually on the in the shader. And again, that's that mid-grey thingy. Lumen's making it look lighter, but we can certainly, let's add an adjustment layer. Let's go with color balance. And let's pull in a bit more red. Because the leaves in the forest are actually quite red. Let's save this as... No, I hate this save as. I wish they hadn't have changed this. I want to save a copy now. I'm going to call this Baked R2 for revision 2. So we want to import reform models, target driveway textures, R2. I do not want it to be a virtual texture. Stop that, Unreal. Let's open up the shader again. And let's swap out material. Apply. Very odd. I'm going to actually add a constant and do a multiply. I have a feeling that it's something to do with the mid-grey. Do I multiply or do I want? Yeah, I think I want to multiply. .2, 0.4. Let's try 0.4. Okay, now we are a bit too red. We need to bring in a little bit more brown. So let's bring in a little bit more of the blue. Let's try that. So let's re-import this texture. Now too much of the brown, so let's remove some of the brown. We're going to remove some of the blue. Pull up on the red a little bit. All this for something I'm probably not going to end up using in the end. But you never know until you try. Let's re-import the texture again. I might just darken it up a little bit. I still don't really think I like the leaves, to be honest. I'm just trying to avoid spending too much time on something that I really think I'm going to remove in the end anyway. Let's try one more thing. I think the saturation on them is way too much. So we're just going to pull back on the saturation. Re-import. That's better. So they blend a lot better now. I don't know, what do you guys think? Should we keep the leaves and the bark in there, or should we remove them? I mean, I'm probably going to end up... Look, let's do this. I'm going to paint in some leaves anyway, because I want some of the other leaves. So I'm going to go into the foliage tool. We're going to look for the leaves. Which I believe are these ones. We want paint. I'm going to start painting some other leaves amongst them. You're not very sold on them, Smurf? Yeah, but maybe painting some. Well, yeah. We'll paint some leaves in amongst them, and then we'll have a look. And if we don't like it, we can remove. You can remove the mesh leaves, though. Maybe once we paint some of these leaves in, it'll sort of like better blend them together. I just need to paint that out. We don't want leaves going up on the edge like that. And paint some over here to better blend the driveway in. I'm also just going to move those leaves down a little bit. I think they're a little bit too high. And maybe over just a little bit. Okay, so what do we think? I think maybe with the other leaves painted in, they sort of blend together a little bit better. So we might leave them in. But if you guys don't like them, I can remove them. Andrew Loss says, I think those leaves may be a bit on the large side. Yeah, no, you might be right. But that's not to say that there weren't some larger leaves on the trees that blew down. You are correct though. I don't disagree with you, Andrew Dost. I think the leaves are a bit bigger than the other leaves for sure. They're actually a different leaf as well, if you look at them. These leaves are a different leaf. This is like a maple. The 3D leaves are like a maple leaf, and these trees aren't maple trees, but yeah, you can see here, it's like a maple leaf. And these aren't maple trees. But I may bring maple trees in, so yeah, we may do that anyway. I may bring some hero maple trees in, which was always my my intention, because we're going to be placing the car in here in a minute, and the car is covered in maple leaves. So, what are they called? Maple leaves? Or are they called oak trees? I can't remember. Andrew Dust says also I'm in 720p, so I don't see it as true as I could. Smith says burn it all down. You're in a real you're an angry man, Smurfberry. What's going on? Android Lust says maple leaves are kind of large. Yeah, and I may bring some hero maple trees in for the and we may place them back here once we get the fences in, because we're going to be putting the car in here in a minute. They're called Canadian leaves. Oak trees, they have that shape too, don't they? That their leaf shape is like that. I always thought of it as a maple leaf, but yeah. Smurf says I'm skeptical of these leaves. Why are you skeptical? Why? What's the problem? I don't think they look too bad now that we've blended them in with the other leaves. We can always remove them though at any time. It's just a mesh that can be deleted. If you really hate them that much, we can do that. Oak leaf looks slightly different. Yeah. Yeah, because the trees in this forest are broadleaves, I believe. Broadleaf trees. Smurf says oak leaves are rounded, maples are pointy. Okay, so maple leaves. So the 3D are maple leaves, but I may bring in some hero trees which use maple leaves, so that would explain those leaves being in the drive. And I actually haven't got any other maple type trees in this landscape. I was just going to bring 2 hero trees in for this driveway section. So let's bring the car in, because the car has leaves on it as well, and they are also maple leaves. So, and I think I want the car to be sort of like around here. So we'll come back to this because we're still to add all the gate sections and all that jazz. But I want to bring the car in. So let's make sure I'm in the right Well, let's do a save all first, because I haven't done one for a while. Hang on, I missed 2 of your comments. Which comments? Oh, hang on. Smurf says, I'm skeptical of these leaves. What do I know? I'm dumb and terrible. I'm not feeling them. They're too big, maybe. I can remove them if you hate them that much. I can do that. I don't disagree. I think they are a little large. I have a feeling when I created them in Max, even when I looked at it here, I thought to myself, I think these leaves are a bit big. So I don't disagree. We can maybe try scaling them. I just want to try and avoid having to redo them inside of Max here. We can probably try scaling them back a little bit. They were created for the actual, like, I use physics painting to actually lay them out, so we have to be careful scaling it because we're going to start having some issues, but we can try. So if we go down to about a third of what they were, we're probably going to have to pull them up now because they've gone inside of the drive, maybe. Yeah, this is what I was worried about. See, we start to have them sticking through geometry, so they have to go up just a little bit. I scale them back a bit too much. Move them over a little bit. So let me try and find a leaf here so we can get an idea of how big they are now. Okay. There. If we compare them to the other, remember they're a different tree than these trees, so. Actually I could probably do it that in Max. You missed, like, Smurf says urge to burn rising. That was a great episode of The Simpsons. Smurfery says Max has a scale individual objects. Yeah, it does. You're right, I could have done it in Max. I may do that. Of course, you'd have to re-import. Everything is awful. Add fire. No, you are correct, actually, Smurfery. Max does indeed have that mode. That may be a better way to do it. As opposed to trying to scale it all in. What we can do is I can return this to the original scale. Make sure they're up. And we can jump into Max. And we can isolate the leaves. Yep. And we can do a scale in Max. So do that. And this way I can keep them in their position, just make them smaller. Alright, let's go back. Let's re-export them. It's not Nouveau, I'm in the wrong folder. Driveway, Cargate, driveway. Driveway leads. Let us find the leaves again. What folder did I put them in again? I can't remember. Fences, maybe? Yeah, I think it was in fences. Oh no, I don't think it was in fences, no. Where did I put them? Man, I should never have changed folders. Sitting room, terrain, temple of the winds. Attic, basement, bathroom, bedroom, building, candles, car gates. I think that was the one. Driveway leaves. Let's re-import the mesh. I want to make sure that it will have added collision. I don't want collision on these leaves. It's ridiculous. You don't need collision. Yeah, it did. So let's remove the collision. And say these can't be a nanite mesh, unfortunately, because they have transparency on the texture. And transparency, nanite doesn't work with transparency, so. So is that better? Are you guys happy now? We'll reduce the size of the leaves. I'm just trying to get into a position where we can see one of the leaves properly. Where are they? Yeah. Why not the leaves folder? Actually, hang on. Android Lost says, do you have pine trees? We do have pine trees, but they're around the outer edges of the landscape where the ravine is. So basically, the interior of the forest are like these broadleaf trees. And then as you get toward the edges of the forest where the ravine is, there are pine trees, big red something or other pine trees, big pine trees. Yes, we do. We do. Smoke says one at the leaves folder. I'm less offended by the leaves now. Oh, good. It's better. Andrew Loss says, I just wanted to know because I don't like pine trees because of pine straw. Yeah, we do. We do have pine trees, and we do have pine needles as one of the foliage things that I can paint in, but not here because there are no pine trees here. So yeah. Now we have our leaves that are better matched to the other leaves. Okay, so let's now we're done with our leaves. Let's bring in the vintage car, I think. Yeah, I think we'll place it here. So again, I'm just going to do a save all so I can have some coffee. And at least I called the vintage car folder vintage car, so there we go. That one should be easy to find. Let's pull it in and let's scale it up. Let's have to copy this because it's lost my scaling value. And that's not correct. It's a Giant's car. Guess it's gonna be like that. Well, let's get it in the right position and then I can make sure the scale is correct. So we don't want it that way, we want it to be like that, I guess. So it's driven in the driveway and parked just near the entryway. Might just move it back a little bit. Make sure it's actually on the drive. You see the leaves on this are actually the correct scale, so that's good. Right, so let's look at it as we'd see it as a player coming up the driveway. That's right, I wanted to remove that tree, didn't I? So yeah, I want as the player comes through the gate to be able to see the car. So we don't want it hidden back behind this. I can't remember if this was turned into a nanite mesh. No, it's not. It's not nanite because the car leaves, that's why. It's a bit annoying. Would have been nice if we could make it nanite, but anyway. Performance is still fine. Again, I really like the detailed shadows with virtual shadow maps. It's so cool. Andrew Doss says, well, okay, you don't like pine trees. That poor car, I know. It's seen better days. This poor car. Making sure all the materials are correct. No issues happening anywhere. No, I think we're good. I can't see any problems. I really like that powder blue color as well. It's very pretty. I like the powder blue. I mean, I could have made it red. Red would have been nice too. Scale wise now, we're going to make sure the scale is correct. So I'm just going to sort of like compare, say, the size of the steering wheel with the size of the doors, sort of thing. Let me get into a position where I can see it a bit better. During a playthrough will be the best way for me to actually judge it properly. But again, I can't do that on stream, so it might be a little big maybe. Maybe not. I know when you face these doors, your head comes to about here, I believe. So if we keep our head at that same height, I might just scale it back just a little bit. I think it's just a little bit too big. because these cars weren't very big back in the day. You can see they really only fit 2 people in them. So they weren't like huge Rolls Royces or anything. They were actually quite tiny. Oh, tiny's not the right word, but yeah, they were small. Yeah, I think that's probably better. Just a little bit too big before. Android Lost says some cars were pretty big back in the day. Yeah, I don't think these ones were though. These ones were quite tiny. Yeah. I don't, and it's still not small. I mean, you know, it's still quite a big car. I just felt it might have been a little bit too big. So we scaling it back just a touch, I think is better. But again, I'll know for sure when we do a playthrough and we do some testing, not on stream obviously, we can judge it then. So that's the easiest way to actually tell. But I think that scale is okay. I think. Did I make it too small now? Yeah, I might bring it up just a little bit. Just a touch. I think that's fair. I can sort of go up here and judge between the gates and the car and this decorative thing here in the middle. I want it to be bigger still. Maybe just a little bit bigger. Yeah, I think that's right now. Yeah, I think that's good. Not that one though. Android Lost says Roadsters are generally small. Yes, they are generally small. This one was actually quite small. Like I said, it only sits 2 people, so it's not a big car. Now you got me worried I made it too big. You guys. Did I make it too big? You know, an easy way for me to tell is, you know, the rusted truck, that is scaled correctly. So I could copy that, but it'll be easy for me when I do a playthrough to actually test it that way. And when we judge it in comparison to the trees, I don't think it's too big, actually. Like I said, I know my head comes to about here in gameplay. So I think that's probably correct. It might be a little bit big. Although we're looking at it from this angle, it doesn't look too big. Smith says now it's a trunk mobile. Andrew Lost says I'm a fan of small cars. You could make a meter cube for the scene to size it up a bit. It's actually, the scale to this is not a standard scale. So we're working at like 1.7 to, so we're not working at a 1-to-1 meter scale for the game. It's like a 1.7 meter scale. So almost twice as big. Yeah. So we can, I guess, do a 2 meter cube and judge it that way. But the easiest way will be for me to, I think it's a little bit big. I do think it's just a touch big. I think that's better because these were a tiny car. They weren't a very big car. So again, if I just sort of go to bird's eye view here, I can judge the size of that by the size of that by the size of that. So I think we're good. Alrighty, so let's do a quick save all and save current. And I think we might leave it there for today, guys and girls. We'll pick this up again tomorrow. We'll start putting in the actual fence, you know, the wrought iron decorative fence that we've got to go around all of this. So I think that's what we'll tackle tomorrow. Smurf says, if only there were like scale objects. Quiet you. Yeah, we'll pick this up again tomorrow. We'll start putting the fence in. I do want to thank you guys very much for hanging out with me today and for watching. I do appreciate it. No Sniper Girl again, but anyway, I hope she's well. Yes, I'll see you guys tomorrow and we'll pick up where we left off today. You guys have a great night and yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. See you guys.